All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to episode 2 of Dungeons and DBags. As
That's
always,
us.
we have that is us. As always, I have Pete and Doug with me, but we also have
Happy
Nick
birthday.
with us today.
Whoa.
What are you doing here?
So we wanted to try changing things up a little bit for this one, and if you're watching this on YouTube, instead of seeing the boring old regular static image, what we're gonna do is put in, bam, here's a whiteboard, and anything that any of us draws on here, you should be able to see. So we'll try our best to help this supplement the story, or maybe it'll just turn into a whole bunch of penises. I don't really know, but I guess we'll find out.
Huh.
All right, so jumping right into it. Our last episode found our heroes at the Golden Claw, where they had what?
Again, because we were in the
Again.
Golden Claw to begin with,
That's true.
and now we're at the Golden Claw again.
We are at the Golden Claw again. This time we do
road.
have Chuck Norris is back in the private room. We noticed him back there with Bertha
Wait.
Butts, the other what? All right, so we find our heroes in the Golden Claw. A few weeks has passed since the prior events, and we've all been healed very nicely. Pete still has a little bit of a limp, but he's otherwise unhindered. I am.
It's fine. The ladies find it sexy.
Oh.
I have a similar limp, so we're limp bros.
Yeah. of course.
Doug had a pretty nasty stab wound, but he's fine. So we're at the Golden Claw again. We met up with our good pal Nick, and
Chickenfinger Johnson.
it turns out that at the end of the last episode, he was the one that bought us that bottle of Ciroc. Everything's
Whoa.
good. It wasn't.
What?
Whoa there.
Boy, does the plot thicken.
Wait, why did he drug us?
Yeah,
Well-
I thought it was the creepy bartender.
Well, we don't know. He just
Nick, why you drug us? You're here. We can ask you.
No.
Chickenfinger Johnson.
he didn't
Where were you
drug
hiding?
us. It was just an unlucky coincidence.
It's
Yeah.
it's an unlucky coincidence that bottle of Ciroc just happened to be drugged that he bought us.
No. Oh,
No,
okay,
no,
The bartender.
The last
ahead.
bottle at the very end of the episode.
Oh, so the first bottle was the bartender.
The first bottle,
Yeah.
we don't know who it was.
Okay.
An unbeknownst villain. Okay, so
Right.
we're all sitting at the bar.
Cannibal Buff.
Yeah, so we're all sitting at the bar, hanging with our good pal Nick and
Chickenfinger Johnson. How many times do I have to tell you?
Chickenfinger Johnson.
right.
Sorry. And we decide we got to get the hell out of here because you know what, we saw Chuck Norris, who is still hanging around. He's out with Bertha Butts in the VIP room. And we're not all about this, and we don't want to see them get freaky because it's a very visible VIP room. So
Right,
we had
and she's a lobster too, so
that's true.
kinda-
I don't even know how that works. I mean,
Well,
now that
partially lobster.
now that
anyway.
Zoidberg's not around, we don't really know how this sort of stuff.
as long as the Norris knows, I guess that's all that matters.
The Norris
Yeah, that-
knows all. So
Yeah.
we, us for the dynamic quartet, we exit the Golden Claw and get into Pete's.
Prius.
We get into Pete's punch buggy, to which
Buggy.
to which we make fun of him, of course, and then
Of course.
And punch
driving
before.
driving down the street, we notice a wreckage of a car crash. The car is actually
kinds of
on
car?
fire, and
Holy
there's
shit.
no one around. There's just a single car that veered off the road and swerved into a tree.
Oh shit! Is it a station wagon?
We
Is it
slow
on
down.
fire?
We
Yeah, we
slow
gotta
down
draw
to about 20 miles an hour just because, I mean, gotta take a peek, right? At this point,
Am I
we can
driving?
see that there is someone trapped inside the car.
Is
What
it
do we
on
do?
fire?
The car is on fire. It's coming from the
What
engine.
what kind of person is it?
Important.
What?
It's
That's not. It's just a question. It's not like
Um,
this isn't something
yeah.
I would have to think about. This
No,
doesn't
no, no.
delay any sort of judgment.
I understand. The person
Perception
is
check
the
on the
person is an
person.
Asian man. He looks like Glen from
Nice.
The Walking Dead.
Awesome.
The,
Glenn's
the
my
car the car is a Subaru Outback.
boy. Okay. Wow.
What do we
okay,
do?
So,
Pete's driving.
well, Pete's driving. Pete stops. Pete's
Pete
gotta save
stops the
Glenn.
car. We decide to save Glen. Are we all in agreement?
I tuck and roll. I open the door and I tuck and roll. Before we stop.
Okay.
Nick unnecessarily, Chickenfinger Johnson unnecessarily tucks and rolls out of the car.
It's only going like 10 miles an hour at that
stubbing
point,
his
so-
forehead on the ground. but causing no major damage.
Forehead wound.
Yeah, he's got like a scab on his forehead as it like heals up.
No, it's all good.
Okay.
Take my
We
hand and rub
we
on it.
cautiously approach the car, which is burning. We see the Asian man slumped over, his head on the steering wheel, blood dripping from his forehead.
Oh,
Clearly, he
shit, so
bashed
he's
his
not-
face. He bashed his face against the steering wheel when he hit the tree.
Not cognizant at all.
Not
Hey, man,
cognizant at all.
are there brake marks or skid marks?
I definitely
from the
thought you said
road.
rape marks,
Wait.
but you said brake marks, didn't you?
In
Right,
Matt's pants or on the road?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a check for both of them independently.
Okay.
I don't let
Perception
you
check
check my
on Matt's
pants.
pants skid
I look
marks.
very embarrassed, but there are brake marks on the ground. Clearly he saw something and skidded off. Well, he saw something or tried to avoid something or otherwise tried to brake and veered off the road.
Crazy.
Definitely a Bigfoot.
Probably. Perception check on Bigfoot sightings.
We look
Are they
around and we
moving
don't
Bigfoot
see any.
tracks?
We haven't heard any Bigfoot settings in whatever in the news.
Sightings.
Sighting, sorry.
Okay.
All right, what do we do?
What do we do?
Yeah.
Well, Glen is hurt.
I walk up to
So-
him and following CPR procedure, I tap him on the shoulder and say, "Are you all right? Are you okay?"
So you reach through the broken window and tap him on the shoulder. Glen
Yes.
moans in in response. It kind of sounds like this. Oh.
That's the kind of moan he makes?
Yeah.
Are you sure he's not? Okay, perception check for a boner.
Yeah.
there,
Go to-
there is no boner. There is no boner available. Oddly
Oh,
enough,
no.
his shoes. I mean, his pants appear to be on backwards.
Oh, yeah.
The plot thickens.
Wait.
Definitely sounds like a chupacabra. I searched the area for chupacabra droppings.
You see an abnormally large turd, but besides that, everything looks normal. You can't decipher if it's chupacabra or not.
Well, I highly doubt it is. It's not a very large creature, roughly, 2 feet long from the head, snout to tail. So it's probably not a chupacabra. It could be maybe a Bigfoot.
Oh, that's a
It's
name.
pretty big. We're talking like maybe a cow turd or something. It's a
Whoa.
pie too. It's flat like a pie.
Well,
Was
Okay.
it run over or
So
what?
We still gotta save Glen. We're gonna go.
I
and
go
move the
ahead.
fuck-
I go ahead and reach in and open the door. Glenn, not wearing a seatbelt, tumbles out of the car. He is
Oh,
still.
no. I
He
catch
is.
his head
He's
before it hits the ground.
very nice.
Perception
You're
check.
gonna
I
have
catch
to
him in my
roll.
arms.
You're gonna have to roll.
Kiss his forehead.
All right, you're gonna have to roll out of 3 dice. That's a maximum of 18. You're gonna have to roll. You're gonna have to roll a 5 to catch his head because you were right there. But 5 or above.
Hey,
Sorry, 5 or above. 5 or
higher.
above.
5 or above. Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah.
agile. I got it.
All right, roll. I'm gonna roll 3 die. You have to roll a 5 or above. You got a total of 10.
that's-
You got a total of 10. You're good.
Yeah, I caught that bitch.
All right, so you catch his head. We gently lower Glenn to the ground. He begins to stir once out of the blazing heat of the car. as he wakes up, we're all crowded around him. We hear a hiss coming from behind us.
Good shit.
We all turn around quickly and see the tires deflating. All 4 tires simultaneously deflating from Pete's punch buggy.
Oh, for my
Confused.
punch buggy.
Confused, I walk around the car and look around. Nothing. There's nothing. There are stab marks visible on the wheels.
Oh shit.
What do we do?
Oh man. What do we do?
The time.
Do we
The
have any
time.
weapons?
The
I
time.
have-
The time
do we
is
have-
about 6 p.m. It's still light out, but we know it's going to be getting dark soon.
I reach into my pocket, pull out 4 packs of chewing gum, and start chewing away. I'm going to plug
Okay.
the holes with the chewing gum in the
Oh,
tires.
that's resilient.
Yeah.
What's he got to roll
You
to do
you
that?
jam in the gum, but they're slash marks. So, I'm sorry, there are stab marks, but they're like stab and then rip. So there's no saving these. There's no saving these tires. The tires are deflated.
got-
The
no.
car is immobile.
Hey, it was worth a shot,
What?
guy.
It was.
I
nice
got
try.
big old lungs. I'm
Give
gonna
it a
go in and
shot.
I'm gonna blow those tires up.
Okay,
Well,
but they
I mean-
have giant tears. It doesn't matter.
You put the gum in
If he
there.
wants
Gum
to blow
takes care
tires,
of
he can blow
tears.
tires.
I mean,
The
I-
tires
blowing
are
the tires.
unsalvageable. The tires are
Well,
unsalvageable. We are by
Start
ourselves.
blowing those
We are
flat
approximately
tires.
10 miles out from any major civilizations.
this-
Deciding to go for it, we begin to walk down the road, not having any other chance. Oh yeah, Glenn woke up. I'm sorry.
Wait,
Glenn
before
woke
we
up.
Walk down
Yeah,
the road.
Glenn,
Let's get the tire iron out just in case.
good idea. Good idea. Doug grabs the tire iron. I grab the windshield scraper, and Pete just like takes off his steering wheel. He says, "I'm not going anywhere without this baby."
Okay.
Nick fashions a whip out of his chewing gum wrappers, and
Okay.
why
And
can't I just
Glenn-
use the seatbelt? Why can't I just
we have to
catch
support
someone else?
Glenn. But
I'm not feeling it. Is there anyone else with me? Like, what are we gonna do? We got 10 miles to go. Like, he said,
you're gonna
wait.
leave Glenn?
Glenn is dead weight.
Yeah.
Glen's dead weight.
I'm gonna carry Glenn on my back. He's very important to me.
All right, Pete and I are going to carry Glenn on our shoulders. We start walking down the
Doug's
road.
got the tire iron. He's leading ahead. He's gonna be our defender.
Yes, Doug is our defender. As we begin
against the
walking,
tire slasher.
I watched the rear for chupacabras.
about half an hour goes by with very minor details. Nothing important happens besides Glenn being able to slowly walk on his own. When we ask him questions, he won't respond. He
Does he
still
scream?
Threaten
looks.
him with tire iron.
He still what?
I threatened him with a tire iron.
He's like, yo man, like what the hell? We began to talk with him and realized that Glenn saw a figure as he was driving back, but it was too fast. He assumed it was a deer, so he's put on the brakes and he just slid off and hit the tree. That's all he remembers.
Oh no.
Doug and I play good cop, bad cop. I want him to press for more information and pressure
That's-
him.
that's-
Wait, are you
that's
good
all he
cop or
knows.
bad cop?
I'm
Or
good
are you
cop.
both?
Yeah, are you the good cop or the bad cop?
I'm the
What do
good
you
cop.
do?
Cop, I'm the bad cop. Threatening him with a tire iron.
Of course he's
All
the
right.
bad
What does Nick do to Glenn that makes him think he's a good cop?
Offer him some gum.
Offers him some gum. Does
Glenn
like
takes
gum?
Glenn
I
takes the
say-
gum and says,
I-
"Thanks, man."
What kind of gum is it? Is it
There
juice
is something else I remember, but I didn't want to say it out
Why?
loud. I really thought I saw. It didn't look like a deer. It was big and it's kind of hairy, and I didn't really know.
Oh.
I didn't really know.
I asked him what speed it was traveling at approximately.
Very fast. It was. He was looking at his phone and texting, which he admits to us. But when he looked up, it was there and then gone.
Well,
I chastise Glenn for being a poor driver.
He says.
I
he
asked
says.
Glenn to wait.
He says, "I'm sorry, I
Do we
won't
know
do it
anyone
again."
Else? Can we just like call someone for a ride?
Now, Doug.
Oh, we don't have
Doug,
reception.
Doug realizes that we can use our
With
phones.
little
He takes
phones.
out his phone and then tries to dial out, but he only gets no reception. He gets no reception.
Nice.
The phone will not dial out.
So we're like on like some fucking.
We're on some
like,
back
country
road.
Bumpkin road. Yeah, in like the Pine Barrens or something.
Oh yeah.
Shit.
We're in the Pine Barrens. So we hear this noise. All of a sudden, as Doug's still trying to dial out on his phone,
I'm very frustrated.
he's very frustrated. He throws his phone into
Right, he's not-
he throws his phone into the trees.
And then he throws the
Uh,
tire iron at his phone.
No, I do not.
He does not throw the tire
iron.
iron. He throws the phone in desperation and anger. So
Mm-hmm.
we're like, Doug, really? So we all go into the woods after this phone.
and
Suddenly
I,
Oh my
we
God,
hear-
all of us. Even
We hear
Glenn?
this. Yeah, Glenn can walk. He can stumble. So we hear this.
What about
we hear
Nick?
this roar.
I mean, Chickenfinger.
Chickenfinger. We hear this roar. This roar is a mix between what you would expect to hear out of a dying seal and an angry tiger.
Wow, like some profuse combination of
Some
those two things.
profuse combination of weird noises.
profane.
It's
Yeah,
coming. It's
okay.
coming from behind us back towards the highway. We know we're not really that far in. We're just in far enough to not be able to. Like there's a lot of trees, so we're in far enough where we can only kind of see the road. But it's coming from
It's
back that
coming
way,
from-
presumably past the road, the other side of the road.
Shit. I say we head back towards the road. I want to fight this thing. Doug's got a tire iron. We got Glen. We're all recently recovered from injuries, which means we're superhuman because we survived them in the first place.
Right,
That's
yeah.
true.
So I guess
That's
we
true.
can live forever, right?
You guys want to go and fight this thing?
I definitely want to fight Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can definitely just report myself as being lost.
Do any of the other? Is that gonna help us?
It's not gonna help us right now. It's just I don't care about myself. But that's why we went there in the first place, right?
Right. Okay. Do any of the rest of us have weapons to fight? Besides chewing and
I have
tire
a window scraper.
You have
Um,
your
I'm pretty
Your
good.
steering
at
wheel.
fighting
Oh, you have a
because
steering
I
wheel.
watch- Because I
Here's
watch
what I
a lot-
want to do.
Watch a lot
Wait,
of
I have a
anime,
steering
so-
wheel.
Yes, you said
Yeah.
I'm not leaving
Oh,
without
I
this
forgot.
baby.
I forgot.
Wait,
Okay,
wait,
right,
hold-
because
hold
you
on a
told
sec.
me I did that.
Why
even
do
though
I
never
get
would.
why do I get the garbage weapon though?
Well, here's the thing.
Well, I mean,
Here's
it
what,
is
okay.
literally garbage. It's
chewing
made out
gum.
of garbage wrappers.
I get a
Nick's-
chewing gum whip.
How about this?
Like we're talking
How about
about
this?
a tire iron and an entire steering wheel. I get a chewing gum whip.
How about this?
Probably.
I was the one who said that I got the tire iron. I was the only smart enough to tell.
Yeah,
And
nobody
I got
else
something.
nobody else said anything, so I just assigned you
No, I
weapons.
didn't say anything because you made me take off my steering wheel
Yeah.
right away. Like I would
That's
ever
true.
do that.
It was
Here's the
about
thing.
to think of something, but I
Okay.
mean, you didn't even give me a
Nick
seat
had-
whip. You give me a chewing gum whip. Like
All right. Here's the thing. Ready?
I'm fine with it.
Chickenfinger had a switchblade in his back pocket, so he's
Well,
got that. Okay.
Yeah.
The rest of us, because we
Easy.
want to fight, Bigfoot, but Glenn doesn't have a weapon. He's still a little disoriented, right? I'm gonna give him my steering wheel because it's easy to wield, right?
Mm.
And
Okay.
then we're gonna go. We run back to the car and we take
It's too
off
far.
one of the flat tires.
We've been walking
What?
for 45 minutes. We've been walking for I told you
Oh,
we've been
you
going
said
for 45 minutes.
minutes?
I
I
said
wasn't
half
paying
it.
attention.
No, that's fine. All right, we've been going for 45 minutes. It's too
All
far
right,
away from the
fine.
car. You can grab a stick. Why don't you grab a big stick?
I grabbed like a large, like a
Okay.
log,
Okay, so
and Glenn's got my
we
steering wheel, so
decide
everyone's
to
got a
set
weapon.
out towards Bigfoot. Do we cautiously approach the sound, or do we just reckless abandon run?
Well, we
I
got
vote for caution.
yeah. We have a formation. You know.
Okay, so
Yeah, there's no
we
way I
spread
can
out
do that screen.
we spread out into a flying V formation with Doug taking the lead, and the rest of us assembled behind him.
Who watches the rear though?
As we cautiously,
Gotta get
I'm
flags from the
watching
rear,
I'm
dude.
watching Doug's rear.
Yeah, but we heard the cry from the other direction, Nick.
have
I'm
any
I'm
idea how
staring at
crafty-
Doug's
That's true. He
rear
said it
end.
was- Glenn said it was really okay. That's good enough. They did say Glenn said Bigfoot was really fast though.
He's gonna flank
Somebody's
us. I'm
gotta
telling you.
Someone's gonna watch the rear.
We're all just gonna get picked off. You can't
All right,
be.
all right. So
Like, the wide
I
open
vote.
door.
I volunteer to watch the rear. So I'm slowly walking backwards, watching behind us
Right.
as
Thank
we
you.
creep
That's a
towards
great
the road, using trees
Wait.
as cover. What?
What percentage of time are you actually watching the rear, and what percentage are you watching our rears?
It's about 50-50 at this point.
Be the
Okay.
rear.
Fair enough.
Well,
As for the prime check, it's
Very
a
responsible.
the answer is a yes. It's a hard yes.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh,
Matt's
All
going
right.
prime.
That's
Okay.
comfortable. It's
So
very comfortable.
so I
Yes.
am fully primed. So anyway, as we slowly creep towards the highway using the trees as cover, we hear yet another ear-curdling seal, lion, tiger roar. And this time it does sound closer. We get to the edge of the road, and we see the trees beyond. We can see into the trees a little bit, and then it's what looks like a very small clearing. We decide to go for it, and we go forwards towards that clearing. As we reach the clearing, we see at the other side this giant, hairy thing come running at us, shrieking. What do we do?
Uh-oh.
What?
But okay. How far is this guy?
Oh, that's pretty good.
This fuzz guy? from us?
Here he is.
That's pretty solid.
Oh wow.
He's about half a football field away.
Traveling at what speed?
All right,
pretty
here's
good,
what I do. I yell at it with a ferocious blood roar. and try and scare it away.
He continues charging at us. His eyes are wild, and he looks strangely almost frightened, which is
Matt,
what?
I know exactly what I'm gonna do. He looks
Okay.
almost frightened.
He looks almost
Fuck
frightened.
that. He's charging me. I take my giant log and I throw it like a javelin in gaping mouth.
My mouth is gaping.
as as this Bigfoot-esque creature is running towards us, Pete hurls his giant log at this thing. It doesn't catch him in the mouth, but it catches him on the shoulder, causing him to stagger, but not stagger much.
Okay.
I call for a
He
roll.
gets right back up and just continues charging. At this point, it's too late. He reaches us and just rushes right past us, and he just keeps going. Confused, we turn around and look at him, and then we look at each other, and then we look back the way he came, and all we see
Oh no.
is an army of gnomes.
No.
Oh fuck.
Not again.
Not the
An,
gnomes.
an army of gnomes.
How many gnomes are we
What?
talking? How many? How big is this army?
I'm talking like Lord of the Rings style. There's got to be 500 of those suckers, if
Oh,
not
shit.
more.
And they were chasing the Bigfoot.
They were chasing the Bigfoot.
Okay, so they're how far away now? About the same?
They are getting to the other end of the clearing, so they're half a football
Oh,
field
big.
away.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna snatch my log up first. Let's
All
just clear
right,
that
Pete
out.
grabs his log. I vote that we turn around and run.
Yes, but I'm gonna stay behind for
What?
a little bit.
Why?
All right. Well, I'm gonna take Glen too to cover me. I'm gonna
Are
You
tell
and
you-
Glen
Glen.
have the two shortest range weapons.
Are you sure about this? If
You know
anything
what?
happens to you,
I
you
want chicken fingers here. I don't trust
Charisma
you.
check. Charisma check on Chickenfinger to see if he can convince Glen to stay with him.
He's injured. I'm just gonna fucking.
Glen-
grab him and-
Glenn's
Wow.
injured and scared. You're gonna need a 12 out of 18 to get him to stay. 12 or above.
Whoa.
Wow.
12 or above.
Otherwise, you gotta run with him, Nick, or else you're done for. I mean, Chickenfinger.
We're gonna roll 3. We're gonna roll 3. You need a 12 or above. You got a 10.
Damn. That's fine.
So
Glen's a pussy.
Glenn just turns around and just starts booking it. Do we
Turns tail.
follow?
What weapon do I have again? Oh, I have the switchblade.
Switchblade.
Oh,
Switchblade.
Switchblade
500
and whip.
And the whip, the chewing gum whip.
the chewing gum. Right.
Chewing gum wrapper whip.
Oh yeah, chewing gum wrapper whip.
So I say, go, leave. I'll be right behind you. All right. So I start
whip him?
frantically digging a trench with the with the switchblade. All right. And I grab a couple sticks too. I jam them into the ground and tie my chewing gum wrapper whip to them to make a tripwire right in front of the trench.
Good
Okay.
shit.
Very
And
nice.
after I complete that,
Now
or-
here's the thing.
before the gnomes
Remember,
get
it's a
too
clearing.
close.
They can pretty much see you.
Well, that's why I wanted Glen so he could duck down and see, so he wouldn't see what I was doing. But he's a fucking pussy. So.
So
But they're gnomes. They're
these
man. How
gnomes,
smart
these
are
gnomes aren't very smart. So after making this elaborate trap, Nick turns around and starts running towards us. We hear a satisfying snap, along with a little miniature squeaky moans, like. He's clearly snagged a couple of them in his trap.
Hell yeah.
Now
Well, they tripped. So how
we
many of them
continue-
broke their necks and died?
we continue running. We don't even know how many there are to begin with. We continue running. Now, as we cross the street and just keep going straight. As
Wait, we found another street?
what?
We found another street?
No. We cross the street and just keep going straight. We just keep running into the bushes the way Bigfoot went. Now,
Your friend?
we notice something peculiar as we're running. We hear these squeaky sounds on the right and left of us, as well as behind us. It sounds like they're closing in on all directions, besides in front of us.
Oh, God.
We continue running, hoping to outdistance these miniature squeaky gnomes. We see Bigfoot bent over. We pass by Bigfoot bent over and panting by a log. He looks at us and he looks at us and moans, oh, oh, and then starts running again, quickly passing us. Now Bigfoot
Wait,
Bigfoot
can we
veers
encourage
off
Bigfoot?
slightly. Bigfoot
Yeah, I want to encourage him or help him in some way. Like I want to pick him up, but I know he's too big.
he's way too big. He's like an 800-pound Bigfoot. He's
Yeah.
running. He
Can
veers
I
off.
tell him, hey man, sorry. When I'm running, can I say, hey man, sorry about the. Please.
You cut out there. I only heard, "Hey man, sorry about the."
Log.
Oh.
I fucking threw at him and hit his shoulder.
He's running. He doesn't give a shit.
I
So
want to know if he
Flips you
forgives
off.
me.
so we
Oh,
do we
no,
follow him
Bigfoot.
veering off to the right, or do we keep running straight?
I mean, Bigfoot knows best, right? I mean, this is his wheelhouse. He's in the wild. He's got good instincts. He's big.
Are you implying we don't need to encourage this poor fuzzy beast?
No, well, I'm saying we should stick with him because he can
Yeah,
probably take.
we
on
definitely stick
humans.
with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he probably knows where he's going.
All right,
He knows-
we follow Bigfoot off to
I
the.
give him my log. He can do more damage that way.
He's way ahead of us, dude. He's way faster than us.
Motherfucking
yeah.
doesn't matter. Why does he need to run? The
Because
man.
he's terrified.
Why is he
So
terrified?
as
How
we
powerful
don't
are
know,
these
dude.
gnomes?
We don't know what these gnomes are capable of. So we
But
begin
if
running.
he's got his fucking log, he can just like
we
a
begin
helicopter.
we begin running towards Bigfoot
Okay.
off to the right. The sounds behind us die down. We believe we're getting away. It's been about 15 minutes now. We haven't seen Bigfoot or the gnomes. We're walking up and we see this pit in the ground. Not a pit, but almost like a
Dug, or?
a very small valley type thing, like the bottom of a hill. We're running and we're standing at the edge of this
valley?
small, like a hill, not a valley, like a small hill going downwards. So the opposite of a hill. But at the
valley,
bottom,
okay.
at the
Like
bottom,
a divot.
we stop because at the bottom we see a motionless shape, and what we
Wow.
see appalls us. We see
Wow.
gnomes. We see gnomes everywhere. They're swarming. They look like ants. They look like ants everywhere. They're walking and running and stumbling. There's a few that are rolling, and at the bottom we see a giant hairy mass. The
No.
gnomes, we don't know what they're doing. They're reaching in and pulling out tufts of Bigfoot's hair. He's writhing in agony on the ground.
Oh
He's
no!
making but oddly enough, he's not making any noises. You hear guttural grunts coming from Bigfoot, but you don't hear yelling. He seems confused. He seems dazed.
And-
The tufts of hair are going everywhere. Suddenly, one of the gnomes gets bloodlust and sinks his little
No.
gnome teeth into Bigfoot.
No.
He shrieks, and they begin devouring him. We we decide. we,
I'm
He was
getting
my
enraged.
friend.
I become absolutely enraged. I take the log, I throw it I roll it down into the gnomes. Bigfoot can take the. He's not gonna. He's big. He's not really gonna get squashed by it. So I roll the log, and then I dive into that gnome pile with my switchblade out, start stabbing them in their little gnome eyes.
we
Just
you roll,
screaming.
you roll the log. The log hits about a good 5 gnomes before coming to a rest. Chickenfinger Johnson comes running down the slope, deciding that if Bigfoot is going down, he's going down with him. The gnomes, as a single unit, turn and face this new threat, with more popping out from up on the opposite end of the hill. There seems to be an infinite number of these gnomes. We don't know where they're coming from, and they each have a different colored hat on. We see every color of the
God.
visible spectrum, including the disgusting ones like puke green and
Good shit.
diarrhea brown.
Now, how
ones-
is diarrhea brown different than any other brown?
I don't know. The ones on top of Bigfoot continue
Easier
munching
brown.
while his struggles slowly expire
Cease.
and go limp. Then he goes limp.
Oh, God,
I
Bigfoot.
go in there and I smack that gnome with my tire iron.
Which
Yes.
gnome? There's
Thank you,
like
Doug.
500 of them.
The one that's gnawing on Bigfoot.
There's like about 40 gnawing on Bigfoot. But you and Chickenfinger
I
run down.
smack as many as I can off of Bigfoot.
Okay, the gnomes start to turn on you. You get a couple of them good. You get about 10 of them before they start they just start latching onto your leg, pulling you down beneath their massive numbers. I run in and grab Doug's hand and yank him hard. Doug Doug Doug's prime check, he's also a hard yes.
Wow.
Doug staves them off with his tire iron while I pull on his arm, and we begin running the other way, deciding not to sacrifice ourselves. As we're running, it becomes apparent.
What did I do that whole time? Was I crippled with grief over Bigfoot?
What
I don't know,
happened?
you didn't
to
say
me?
anything. You weren't. I guess you weren't moving. Oh, he took
No,
your
I
yacht. He took your log.
It's me.
Did I just back off after the gnome mass? Or
You
what
did.
happened?
After you saw them start to gnaw on Doug, you were like, you tried to help me and you helped me get him out, but we all just decided to run. Now we
How
begin
much
running
flesh Did
again.
they get off of poor Dougie?
We're getting just a little bit, just a little bit on his leg. He's fine.
Just
So
enough for-
as we're
what
running,
the fuck was Glen doing? This
oh, I
motherfucker-
forgot about Glen. Glenn's a coward. Glen was standing in the background.
Glenn's-
Actually, Glen
Glen.
took off well ahead of us. We can see where he is, but he's ahead in the distance.
I can't reach him.
We were running. We're running towards just away from the gnomes. We hear squeaks, little gnomey squeaks on all sides of us, and it becomes strangely apparent that they seem to be guiding us somewhere. We're running, and there's only ever one direction that doesn't have gnomes. We are in a state of disbelief that there's so many gnomes. It just doesn't make sense. Where are they all coming from?
God damn it.
And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we come up to another clearing. Except for this one is different. There's a big mansion there.
Oh
Wow.
wow.
Is it Donald Trump's?
It says
Donald
the Trump. It says the Trump Taj Mahal,
Oh.
but we don't.
Is there any grouping of genital around here?
What?
Well, there is a locker room on your right, and you hear an all too familiar voice saying, "It's just locker room banter," but we see a mansion ahead of us. It does say Trump Taj Mahal, and this
Wait,
may have
is
been
it
a
mansion
prototype.
or a barn?
This may it's not a
Just
barn.
Trump Mahal.
It may have
sure
been
looks like a
it may have
barn.
been a prototype because it's small and it's clearly decrepit.
This
There's
is a
nothing.
barn.
There's nothing
Room.
going on there. The windows are broken, and
One
it's in a
door.
state of just unuse.
That's a giant gnome, isn't it?
No, that's a house.
Look at the house. Look at the hat. The roof. It's a gnome. I'm telling
Oh
you.
my
That's-
God!
It's
It
a
is a
gnome.
giant gnome.
If that's not a giant gnome disguised as a
We-
mansion, then
All of a sudden, as we step into the clearing, the gnome chatter ceases. We hear nothing. It's as silent. It's as silent as when I tell a joke.
That's pretty good.
We don't
Hey, man,
really
remember that one
know
time you told a good joke?
what.
Yeah.
Remember that one time when you told a good joke?
Ah, nice.
Yeah,
All right,
that was a good time.
so we're standing in this clearing with this giant mansion ahead of us. What do we do?
Well,
I piss on the mansion. Fuck you, mansion. You killed my friend.
Pete
Sure.
Pete walks over to the mansion and pisses on the side of it. Nothing happens. But all of a sudden, Glenn starts acting really weird. He just starts turning around in a circle, like he's very lost, like he's very confused. Maybe like he's seen this place before. He starts nice. That's a nice drawing. He starts turning around. Who is doing all this drawing, by the way? You are phenomenal.
I am.
That's
It's me.
phenomenal. Phenomenal.
That's why I don't talk very much. I'm focused on the shit drawing.
It's phenomenal. Glenn turns around slowly in a circle. He's confused. He seems confused, or maybe like he's been here before. We're not really sure. All we know
Punch him in the mouth.
is that he's
I'm
acting
bad cop
strange.
now.
I'm a bad
I
cop.
say.
Throwing him with a tire iron.
I punch him in
Doug
the
threatens
mouth.
him with a tire iron, but he doesn't seem to notice. He's just continuously spinning around in circles. He's
All right. Well,
Spinning
I
in
cap him in
circles?
the
All of a
knee
sudden
with
he
my tire
stops.
iron. This is not a joke.
you smack him. You try to smack him in the knee, but he does a little dance and you end up hitting him in the shin.
A dance?
Yeah, like
Glenn's
he sees
a
it coming.
dancer
He
now?
sees it coming, and then he kind of like lifts his leg a little, so you hit him in the shin. Now
Wait, when you
he
say
grabs
he's moving
his.
around in a circle, is he like walking, spinning in a circle? Holy shit!
What the hell is that?
What's going on?
It's Nick's mic.
Oh,
you guys aren't listening to me. I wanted to punch Glenn in the mouth like 5 minutes ago before
Oh,
Doug
okay.
threatened him with the
so
tire iron.
you
Oh, my bad.
Oh,
you hit him in the shin and punch him in the mouth. Glenn
I
goes
say,
down
"Wait."
like a sack of potatoes. We're like,
say, "Wait."
Glenn.
But died.
Glenn slowly lifts himself back up.
You ain't
He's
shit.
not spinning anymore, but
Did
he's
he lose a bunch
staring.
of-
He's staring at the upper left window.
Tell me that
the
motherfucker lost some
the
teeth.
third floor. Yeah, he lost his front 2 teeth.
what? Okay. Not
He's staring
really
at
what I
the
was looking for,
third.
but sure.
He's staring at the third floor, left window. Like there's something
Third
there.
floor, bro. Okay, there we go. Thanks.
Like
Wait,
Somebody's
yeah.
drawing it.
like he sees something there. We can't see anything. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, he just bolts for the door, and he doesn't even take the time to open the thing. He just shoulder charges it, like he knows it's gonna crumple beneath his weight, which it does. The door instantly
shit. It's
caves
terrible.
in, and taking like him with it, like on the ground. He scrambles back up and runs deeper into the house.
Oh shit.
Silence still ensues around the house and around the clearing.
I throw a rock at the window.
Doug throws a rock. Oh, by the way, that third floor left window is one of 3 out of. Hang on. There's 3
It's not
windows.
going, isn't it?
That's me. There's 3 windows
It's so
that.
much worse.
Well, I'm doing it fast. There's 3 windows that are not broken. They are all on the 3rd floor. They're not all right next to each other, even though this is drawn that way. The one that he was looking at was intact. It was not broken. So Doug takes a hefty rock and he throws it upwards towards the window. It strikes the glass, shattering it, sending glass shards all over Pete, who's still pissing on the side of the house.
Wait, what? It takes like 22 seconds.
Cards.
Pete's like, "What the hell, man?" Pete actually didn't see Glen run in. We inform Pete, and then we have to make our decision. Do we want to go into the house after Glen?
Can we make
I
a
mean-
grappling hook and go into the 3rd floor window, which I just broke?
Can we what?
Can we make a grappling hook
Out of what?
through the 3rd floor window?
We could have if Chickenfinger didn't use his whip as a tripwire.
God damn it.
Well, for the hook anyway. I mean, maybe the crowbar. Or not the crowbar, the tire iron.
That would have been fucking heavy, dude.
Can you guys think of anything we can use as a rope? That's the most pressing issue here. We can maybe use like
Wait.
a log as a
Wait,
grapple.
our decision is to either go up to the window immediately or go after Glen through the door.
or leave, I guess. But we do know
Who's
that we're
gonna
in a.
save me from the shards of glass?
Remember that it is now basically
Just call
dark.
him out on your face.
It was 45 minutes from when this started. It's been like I think 15-minute running intervals. So it's after 7 now. It's probably close to, let's just say 7:30. It's getting dark. The sun is setting. The forest it's the Pine Barrens, I guess, or wherever the hell we were. So it's getting
Jersey
very
Devil.
dark. It's getting very dark.
I mean, we really have no choice but to follow Glenn, right? I mean,
It's true.
I could try and scale a building, but
So I
Uh,
pull some shards of glass out of my face and rush.
yeah.
and rush in.
I rush in.
Do we
I charge.
cautiously
I headbutt the
go
door
in?
down. No, I headbutt the door down.
Well, remember that
Yeah,
Glenn
yeah.
Glenn broke through the door himself.
I
Yeah.
headbutt some of the wood off the door and while running in.
Pete gives himself a nice headache, and
Well, I already had
charges
shards of glass fly into my face.
and
taking
charges
the piss on my-
and
Well,
charges
piss of
in
my life.
and charges in before pulling up his pants, his willy flopping everywhere.
Okay.
Dog yells, Free Willy.
Free Willy. Nice. I take a more cautious approach. Are you guys with me, or are you rushing with Pete?
No, I'm just gonna kind of walk in. I mean, I don't really give a shit about Glen, so I'm just
Okay.
gonna.
Fucking
Yeah.
puss
So
bag.
the rest of us decide to casually stroll in. As we mount the steps, as we mount the steps.
Wait, what steps?
How does one mount steps?
Seriously, dude, come on.
Did I rush past the steps, or did I
You
see
just
the steps? and
there was
keep
only
running
3
up them?
steps. You just jumped up them.
Oh, you're saying steps to the door.
The
Oh,
door,
shit,
sorry.
That's not in the drawing.
As we go up the steps, to the door, we enter the dark house. We all pull out our phones and decide to use our flashlights on our phones. Looking
With the
around,
exception of Doug.
we're not really sure where
Yeah.
Pete is. We just know that we entered a large inner room.
I rushed into the darkness.
Pete's
dude.
already in. We don't know where Pete is. We
Like
just
check-
know it's just me. It's just me, Doug, and Chickenfinger right now. We look around. We see dust everywhere. We see drapes over all the, like, not drapes, but like cloths over all of the furniture and tables and everything else. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Drake.
Yeah. Like in an old house. It's a very extravagant place, though. There's crystal chandeliers, and it's a wonder this place hasn't been. It's a wonder this
You
place
ain't gonna
hasn't been
see that
looted.
shit on this drawing.
What?
I said you ain't gonna see that shit on
Oh
this
no,
drawing.
that's fine. So
Is there a light switch?
there is a light switch. You feel around for the light switch on your
Ouch.
right. You flick it, and the chandelier lights up real bright. The odd thing about this chandelier is that all of the crystals themselves seem to be magnifying glasses,
Yeah.
and they're pointing everywhere. Little beams. Or imagine like the magnifying glass effect of light. You're seeing little beams everywhere. Some are congregated in clumps. They're not uniformly distributed, which is concerning. It lights up the immediate room, and we see pretty much exactly what we already saw, which is just the tables and chairs that are all covered. We're still not really sure where Pete is. As I approach this room, off the side of the main room, I walk over to this semi-cracked open door with my flashlight cell phone. I push open the door, and what I see cannot be put into words.
Is it?
No, he's got an old flashing. Don't put phone there. He's got an old-fashioned flashlight.
No, I have my phone, remember?
Does Matt have pink eye?
I have something. So if you
Is it
that reaches the end of our episode 2.
Maybe.
If you want to
No.
know what the adventurers find in this room, as well as what happened to Pete, and where did Glen go? Furthermore, what's in that 3rd floor room? What other dark secrets does this house hold? Find out that and more, episode 3 of Dungeons and DBags.
Vampires and shit.